All right, we are at part 2 of the series Merritt Island versus Cocoa Beach. Two really popular waterfront towns in Brevard County, the Space Coast of Florida. And today we are talking about lifestyle and community. And when we talk about lifestyle, we're talking about how are you living day to day? What is your lifestyle gonna look like? And when we're talking about community, it's who are we living among? Like, what is our surroundings gonna be like? Because that's something big that you wanna take into consideration when you're thinking about the two cities. So today we are gonna go over pace, identity, walk versus drive, housing, boating and beaching, social, and jobs. And if we haven't met, I'm Carrie Leota, your Space Coast Realtor, and just like you, I relocated from somewhere else, and right now I think it's appropriate to say much colder. So I'm going to break down the differences for you in a 5-part series, and this is part 2 of 5 videos. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll get notified next week about part 3. All right, so I've got my computer right here, so I've made some notes just so I don't forget anything. So we're going to start with pace. What is the pace in Merritt Island versus Cocoa Beach? So we've got Merritt Island right here. And when we're talking about Merritt Island, it's going to feel more residential, quieter, predictable, and you're going to have your schools and your schedules. So basically, Merritt Island is just like anywhere you would live, whether you're, in Minnesota or Georgia or wherever. This is going to be more like your local feel that you have, your schedules that you do every day. But again, we're very close to the beach, and we have the canals, which not everybody in the US has, so we're very lucky. All right, the pace for Cocoa Beach. So the pace is going to be more laid back. It's going to be slower. You're going to get to see the sunrise. If you live on the beach, you're going to get to see that every day. And then we have tourists, lots of tourists, and then you're going to get updated surf reports. So depending on what the weather is doing, you're going to find out if it's a good day to surf and how many waves you're going to get and how the wind is going to be. So comparing the two paces, you're going to have more of your everyday life in Merritt Island, and then Cocoa Beach is definitely that laid back feel that you go on vacation to feel. So if that makes sense, some people just go from Merritt Island to Cocoa Beach just for the weekend, just to get that laid back feel. All right, let's move on to the identity of the two. So Merritt Island, you're going to have more of your long-term residences. You're going to run all your errands on the island. If you need to go to Publix, you're going to go there. If you need to go to the mall, you can stay on Merritt Island. If you want to go to your doctor's offices, you're going to stay on Merritt Island. Everything is right here. And definitely Merritt Island, it's a little bit more family-oriented, whereas Cocoa Beach, you might see more single people because there's a little bit more going on there. All right, Cocoa Beach. All right, we got your surf crowd, you got your small businesses, small locally owned businesses, which I love. You just get a little bit more uniqueness out of it. You have events going on in Cocoa Beach all the time. And then Cocoa Beach, you have that locals versus tourists. And definitely a lot of second home owners, seasonal people. You got the snowbirds that love to come here January through March. It's great. Let's talk about walkable versus drivable. What's the difference? So, all right, Merritt Island is going to be more drivable. So you're going to run your errands in cars. You're going to go to the grocery store in your car. Neighborhoods are a lot more spread out here. So if you want to go visit your friends, you're probably going to drive in your car. Unless they're your neighbors. Golf carts. There's definitely a lot of golf carts around here. A lot of people will do their grocery shopping on their golf cart. If it's close by, you're not going to go couple miles down the road to go to your local grocery store. So golf carts are definitely a must around here. It's fun. All right, we got Cocoa Beach. So Cocoa Beach is more of a walkable town, a biking town. There's lots of people on scooters too. So people are biking to the beach, walking to the beach, scooting to the beach. A lot of the beaches will have a bike rack so you can lock them up right there. You'll be walking, biking, and scooting to restaurants and events. Don't get me wrong, we have tons of cars going up and down the road in Cocoa Beach. But when you're comparing Merritt Island to Cocoa Beach is gonna be more of your walkable, bikeable, and scootable areas, whereas you're not gonna be doing that over at Merritt Island. So housing. We have a lot more single family homes, and these single family homes are gonna be on larger lots with more square footage. So if you want to keep your boat at your house or your RV at your house, or if you want to have a shop in the backyard, you're definitely going to have a lot more land to do that on. And we have a lot more canals. So if you want to keep your boat in the backyard on the canal, you're going to have that more accessible too. But yeah, the larger lots that you can pull your boat to your house if you want to as well. All right, Cocoa Beach. So Cocoa Beach has a ton of condos, lots and lots of condos. You got condos on the ocean side, you got condos on the river side, just lots. I would say there's probably a lot more condos than there are single family homes, but you do have your single family homes. It's just limited, and Waterfront is definitely a lot more limited as well. So Cocoa Beach has a lot more shared amenities. Like there's parks all over the place. So if you want to go to the park on the weekend, during the week or whatever, especially during the weekend, make sure that you get there early, because if you want to sit up a picnic bench, then you get first come, first serve. There's public bathrooms there, lots of volleyball courts set up too, so it's a lot of fun. Boating and beach. So the beaches in Merritt Island are going to be about 15-20 minutes away. You're gonna have more of the river life in Merritt Island. You got more private docks. People are gonna be fishing a lot more in Merritt Island. You see that all the time when you're on the river. People will typically be a little bit closer to the edges where the trees and the tree line is, and so that's good fishing right there. Apparently, I don't catch a lot of fish though. Boating, paddleboarding, kayaks, and hanging out at sandbars is going to be really popular in Merritt Island. I'll tell you this story. I had a friend of mine that she came to visit me, and she lives in Nashville, and she was like, oh, we're moving down here. Slower pace of life. We want to live on the water. So I bought a jet ski because I thought, well, I don't want to have to hop in my car all the time to drive to her house. So I bought a jet ski just because they were moving down here. And you know what? They decided not to move, but that's okay. I've got a jet ski. Life is great. So jet skis, you know, drive that to your friend's house on the water, or you can go to a park. The options are endless. So Cocoa Beach, you're gonna have the ocean and the beach right there, which is amazing. You got surfing, big surf culture, and beach walks daily. So if you love your beach walking, a lot of people wake up early to see that sunrise, and they walk on the beach every day. It's super nice. I would love to have that lifestyle, but I don't at the moment. Your boat storage, you're gonna have limited number of houses on the water. So a lot of people, especially the people that live on the ocean, they're gonna have their boat in marine storage and dry storage. So just be prepared for that. Kayaking, there's a lot of kayaking also in Cocoa Beach. There's a couple places that you can drop off and you can kayak through the mangroves. It's so much fun. Highly recommend it. Okay, and let's talk about the social aspect of Merritt Island. So Merritt Island, it's quieter. Again, more family oriented. It's just your typical everyday life. Your social life is going to be being at your house, having people over. It's gonna be boating. And you should see the sandbars on the weekends, loaded with people, tons of socializing. That's a fun place to be. And there's several of them on Merritt Island, because on Merritt Island you have the Indian River and the Banana River, and you have sandbars all over the place. The social part of Cocoa Beach, it's super lively on the weekends. So you're talking a little bit more noise. The nightlife, the energy, if you're single, this is probably where you're gonna wanna hang out most of the time. It's got a little bit more nightlife than everywhere else around here. And you're gonna have the tourists in Cocoa Beach. You don't really have a whole lot of tourists in Merritt Island, but that does have seasonal swings. Like right now, we are in the snowbird season. That is typically January through March, and then you're gonna have spring break, and then you're gonna have summer break, and then fall break, and then you just have your little breaks in between there. So expect the energy in Cocoa Beach. We're gonna end up with jobs. Where are the jobs? Where are you gonna work? So you have a little bit more of your corporate jobs really close by. You have Kennedy Space Center, you've got Blue Origin, SpaceX, and you got Cape Canaveral right there too, and it has some corporate jobs as well. If you're not in the corporate job scene, you're gonna have a lot of your chains are gonna be over here in Merritt Island. So if you work at like a printing store or, you know, Publix, the mall, stuff like that, then that's gonna be the job scene around here. And then Cocoa Beach, if you live in Cocoa Beach and you work around town in Cocoa Beach, it's all about tourism. You're gonna be working at hotels, you're gonna be involved with Airbnbs, restaurants, boutiques, art galleries, definitely all the things that make the Space Coast thrive, and so many unique opportunities around Cocoa Beach. So don't forget to subscribe, because next week is part 3 of the 5-video series, and it's going to be about homes, prices, waterfront, and investment opportunities. And if you have any questions about relocating or just need help narrowing it down, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.